Hi, I'm Paul.
And I'm Mandy. Welcome to Hedgerows. Come on in.
How long have you lived in the house now?
Been in here 18 months. It looks like it's been here a lot longer.
It's a beautiful place to live. We've actually found all year round.
When people ask, what did you do during COVID? We can say, we built a house. To be honest, it's even better than we dreamed.
Today we are revisiting a project where I came to about 2 years ago. Under construction, beautiful plot, the dream plot really, set in woodland. So it'll be really interesting to see how the house is looking now that the owners have moved in. So I'm quite excited and I think we're going to have great fun. Paul and
Hi,
Mandy.
Tim.
Hi,
Lovely to
Tim.
see you.
Good to see you again. Paul,
see you.
feels like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, a bit longer than that, almost 2 years, I think.
2 years, crikey. And what a transformation to the house.
Would you like to see inside? Come in, Tim.
Thank you very much. Oh, here we are. Wonderful. Oh, beautiful entrance. What I love is the way that the windows from the dining area just letting light straight through the centre of the house.
It was something I think we looked at quite hard from the beginning, because for us the house, it's all about the plot, the land, the woodland and the openness. Just being able to see that as soon as you come into the hallway was something we felt was quite important for the house.
And so letting light down from the skylights above, adding natural light in, as much natural light as possible, isn't it really? So the focal point of the entrance to any home is the staircase. I can remember being here last time, we had all the structure, the steel structure, the curve running around, and a lot of work had gone into that, which is now all completely hidden away. But we've got the final product, and how do you feel about it?
It's absolutely amazing. It's one of those aspects of the house that you see on paper, but you don't really have any real idea how it's going to look in your house. And well, I think it's perfect.
With the landing above and the skylight and the glazing here within the stairs, again, just letting all that light down through the centre of the house here, it feels just so warm, doesn't it? This is a work of art, isn't it? It really is. Into the dining room, taking advantage of the reverse curve of the staircase.
We did get a bit excited about the curves in this room, I have to say.
It's good, isn't it? And you've got sort of the underlighting, and then the fabric on the wall there as well. That is great, and a bit of the lighting above. Lovely sitting room, family room here. This looks very cosy, this area, doesn't it?
It is very cosy, and that was what we were trying to achieve. On the cold evening, somewhere to go where we felt nice and cosy.
Snuggle away.
Yes.
I see you've got the wood burner there. I always love a wood burner.
Yeah.
The heating for the house generally, what is the...
So ground source heating.
Okay, yes.
So 5 50-metre trenches down the garden. So we've got a ground source heat pump in the back of the garage, and then obviously all connected through into the house. So underfloor heating is our heating throughout the house.
But we also felt like we wanted a direct heat source. It's just so much nicer to sit with a log burner in the evening.
Makes you feel good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I expect quite a lot of work has gone, or thought has gone into this room, or into the decor generally throughout the house. How did you develop the idea for how the house looks, which I absolutely love?
To be perfectly honest with you, this furniture came from our old house. We were so pleased at how well it worked within this room. The mixture of the old and new furniture looks really good in here.
I think it's what we call the country contemporary look.
When you're building a new house, you feel like you've got to go with the age of the house and become much more modern. But we decided to bring everything we had with us and try it. We haven't kept everything, but we have kept what works.
Future-proofing the house. This is becoming more prevalent in a lot of the designs that we're putting together now, and you've actually created the lift.
I think kind of because you're starting from scratch, starting with a blank sheet of paper in which to create the house, there was the opportunity to actually put this in from the start, or at least the space for it. It was almost easier to do it at the start whilst the build was going on, rather than trying to do something retrospectively.
Can I go upstairs in the lift?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Goodbye.
Hello.
Hey, there we are.
Welcome back.
Fantastic. So here we are in the heart of the house, the landing area, which is a large amount of space, isn't it? The staircase just sits so beautifully.
It was again, something on paper that was really difficult to envisage. The frame designer at Oakrights worked really closely with Bisca, the company who manufactured the staircase, and just getting it exactly right structurally, but also from the position and the way that it would feel and everything else.
Always one of the challenges with any oak frame is lighting. I'm just admiring these beautiful lights here, gently following the angle of the stairs and gently gliding down. But who worked on the lighting?
These were designed by a young designer in Hackney, all made out of one piece of glass, but we just thought they just looked so beautiful. And because he did 3 different sizes, we were able to make the most of the different lights and have them over the whole landing.
That is amazing, isn't it? So one of the best parts of the landing, I think, is this here, the library area.
This is actually one of my favourite parts of the house. Not only have we got all this fantastic book storage, but it's a lovely place to work. And at Christmas, we have a big tree in front of this window, which looks absolutely fantastic.
Very relaxing, isn't it? It feels very calm, nice, calm.
It does.
It's very quiet. Probably my favourite area of the house as well, with the view through those windows out to the trees and the countryside beyond. It's beautiful.
Below, we looked up through the grid. Now we're looking down through this gorge, which you can actually walk on, can't you?
Yes.
So the structural glass. But I just love the pattern, but also the colour.
We decided to go with the same colour as the windows, so that's the ombre grey, which we've used on the grates and throughout the house.
It's sort of a thread leading through, isn't it?
Yes.
Which is a nice thing throughout the whole house.
So this is the master bedroom, Tim. It's actually another one of my favourite rooms.
I can see why.
It's very peaceful here, and the room is also
Spacious. We've got the vault, which always works really well with an oak frame. I do love your lights. They look really well, don't they? Because they link in with your picture there, the colours following through. Very, very good.
We've got 4 bedrooms upstairs, and I think really we were just so fortunate in the end to be able to have all of them vaulted. We've got a bedroom downstairs, which is again part of the future proofing of the house if one of our parents came to live with us, and again that has an ensuite. And there's an area that we can kind of section off and create a separate kitchen to give some independence as well.
And that's on top of the lift as well, which we've got. So we are truly future-proofed, aren't we? So we're sort of creating what we feel works, but obviously you're involved in that process of looking at the frame. How has that sort of turned out from what was on that 3-dimensional model to what we've actually got here in real life?
Originally we had from Pete the kind of concept drawings, which we loved, working with him to actually create something that flowed, that we felt would work from us living in it perspective, through to then working with the oak frame design team at Oakrights.
Is there anything you felt that was different, how you envisaged it would be from the model through to what we have?
I don't think we would have changed anything. I think we made a few changes during the process, but I think probably everybody does that.
We are in the final product. How are you finding?
We love it. The spaces are beautiful. The oak itself is probably even more beautiful than I thought it would be. We absolutely love the oak on the inside, and then the fact that you can then see through, and we've got all of the glass and through to the views on the outside. We were never always after building a brand new house. It was about building the right house, and for us it was building an oak frame house in this setting, and then through with the plot and the gardens and the woods.
I think we were very, very lucky to find this plot and then design a house that complemented the plot so beautifully. Why don't we go out onto the balcony, Tim?
This really is the dream, isn't it? An amazing balcony, real sun trap here, isn't it?
It really is. And as the sun goes down in the west, you've kind of, it's in the perfect position, really.
So larger balcony coming out, wrapping around the house, actually creating a veranda and sun shading to the windows below, so helping to keep the house cooler in the summer as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in this area here, so the link, you can see the lovely handmade clay tiles on the roof.
The choice of materials for us, we kind of tried to work quite hard at that, because we wanted the house to not look like it had just landed on the plot, but to actually sit within the plot.
All of the materials were based around how gentle they would look up against the landscape.
How did you find your plot here?
We were trying to find a new home that we wanted to move to. Really, I just drove past this one almost to rule it out because the details didn't look anything spectacular. And within 5 minutes of being here, we knew that this was somewhere that we wanted to live.
And the rest is history, so to speak. But
It's a beautiful place to live. We've actually found all year round, whatever the season. Probably about 6 weeks after we moved in, we lost power.
And then we found out we were kind of first off and last back on again living here.
solution?
Our solar panels and our batteries.
If the power went down, how long could you run with the batteries, do you think?
I think we've really aimed to kind of keep ourselves going for at least 24 hours. We've always got that kind of instant backup, and yeah, we were sitting there having dinner with friends a couple of weekends ago and the power went off and it's just clicked straight over onto kind of like the battery usage.
Also living in the countryside, what was the Wi-Fi connection like?
Somewhere between terrible and non-existent,
Right.
really. And so we had to find a solution. We've put in a system called Starlink. It works really, really well. We're heading towards fibre speed with that.
Are you?
Really impressed with that.
Here we've got the little double gable there. Doesn't that set it off so beautifully?
I really do enjoy looking at roof lines, and part of the attraction of working with Oakrights is that they gave us the freedom to make the house as interesting as possible.
So with a big house you could have 2 roof planes, all you need. We've probably got 16 different roof planes here, different levels, different heights, different wings. Well, it's what makes it interesting, isn't it?
It does.
We've got this lovely part coming out which is covered, giving a covered veranda here with a nice big king post truss here, looking very, very attractive. You see, it was 2 years ago I came along, you were still under construction.
Yeah.
Garden's
The
looking
site.
amazing, and that will just go and look better as it
It
matures
will, yes.
now.
I think with new houses, it's just so difficult to try and make it look like it's been there for a period of time. We tried to, in the choice of the bricks and the tiles, to work with the oak to really try and make that work.
So where were the bricks from?
They use them a lot in Belgium for a lot of houses, and we felt that the pinky hue was much better than anything kind of more terracotta.
You've got the face glazing, and then you've got this beautiful window with a sort of a crittle style in the centre on the brickwork. The one complements the other, so it
They
gives
do.
a change, not too much of one thing or another. I mean, it really is very, very attractive.
We often have people stop at the front of the house along the lane and
Yes.
say, is that your house? It's absolutely beautiful. So I think that's a real compliment.
How long have you lived in the house now?
Been in here 18 months, but it looks like it's been here a lot longer.
It's so settled now, it's only going to get better. Here we are in the family room, the kitchen. Let's just talk about the timeline. Can you remember how long ago you found the plot?
Yeah, well, so we found the plot in the January. We completed in May and we then started the build in September. So that would have been 2020.
That's quite a speedy, because quite often it takes people years to find a plot.
We wanted to build a house that had built-in character, and we felt the only way to do that was to have an oak-framed house.
What led you to Oakrights?
You gave us the flexibility to build what we wanted to build. We were able to literally go from nothing and build every part of it ourselves.
Every plot commands a different design, doesn't it, to get the best out of the plot?
That's right. Looking at all the Oakrights houses, we knew that you must have a designer that would be able to design something we like. And then we were introduced to Pete, and he had a list as long as probably both of his arms of things that we wanted and things that we didn't want either. That kind of evolved, didn't it,
Yeah,
as
it did.
time went on?
It did.
And then you go on to the design of the oak frame, design of the panel system.
COVID happened right at the beginning of our process. And I think it's quite amazing that between us all, we managed to come out with the house we wanted.
From that difficult time, what was generated? Absolutely
I
spectacular.
know. When people ask, what did you do during COVID? We can say, we built a house.
Principal contractor.
We looked at how we wanted to do that and whether we would project manage ourselves, and we quickly ruled that out. And then we decided to appoint a principal contractor, local builder, who had very experienced, amazing foreman who really was so involved from the foundations and kind of all the groundwork. And he worked very well with the Oakrights guys. Having that kind of experience and
Yeah.
someone to hold our hands and talk us through
that attention to detail.
From the moment you set foot on site to the day that the sort of key was handed over at the end with the decoration complete, how long was that?
About 13 months.
13 months.
And about 4,500 square feet, a not insubstantial house,
No.
to say the least. And what would be your tips if you were going to give to the person who's sitting at home now thinking, wow, I really fancy doing that? What would your tips be to that budding self-builder?
Mine would be get used to and get comfortable with making decisions. The longer you take to make decisions, the longer the build will take. It's never too early to think about everything that you're expecting to see in this house or everything that you want in the house.
I think the thing is, not everything goes perfectly. You know, sometimes things happen that are out of your control.
And even if you get a few things a little bit wrong, it doesn't matter.
And when you're building a bespoke house, it is a prototype. Yes, all the details there have been used, but this is the first time this house has been created in this configuration. So there's always going to be little things you think, well, perhaps I might have changed that. But from what I've seen on our guided tour today, crikey, there's not much I would change, and what a beautiful place to live.
But I think you can get overhung on small details.
Yeah.
And actually it's the bigger picture at the end of the day. It's not the little tiny bits necessarily.
Well, Paul and Mandy, thank you very much. I think as a final tip, you've got to find a customer who can make a beautiful cake. And Mandy, you can make a beautiful cake, and you can never have enough cake. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. We've been here in the depths of the English countryside, an amazing home. Like and subscribe. Leave us a comment, and I'm sure there'll be lots of questions that you'd like to ask. Please let us know, and also in the future join us on our journey through more exciting Oak Wrights projects.